Hello and welcome back to Hearthside. This is episode 24. Oh my goodness, I am so excited to continue on with expanding and getting some new farms in. Look at it, it's just moving right around, yay! Alright, so today we are going to get started on cleaning up that area. I think I'm going to put a weighted ejector over to that point. And also, we're going to figure out a few things on what else we're needing to do. I also need seeds. No seeds, that's fine. Oh, I also changed my nether portal. Oh goodness, I'm being taken in by the train. Okay. I changed up the nether portal. Of course, I used a lot of copper. Do you guys like it? Is it good? I hope you like it. I got a few suggestions for city names, and I am too excited. Oh my goodness. I think Port Industria might be exactly what we're aiming for. We've got a ton of water around here, and I think having... Also, I'm going to get rid of this sandbar, so that we can have boats that navigate up and around into our other portions of the city, and maybe a little sailboat that goes through here and leaves? I don't know. I cannot wait. I also talked about a ferry, but I'm really thinking a bridge, like a really nice arched bridge would look good there. But I can't think of anything more boring than just telling you about my plans instead of, you know, just executing them outright. That looks much better. Wonderful. Oh, let's do a little bit more of a tour. I covered that up a little bit more just to make it look nicer. And we have some lights in here. Look at these. Glow ink light bulbs. I have a few different types. Oh, we've got plenty of sugar, and now we're just waiting on, as usual, eggs. But that's fine. That's fine. We've got plenty of everything else. And we've also got plenty of blaze cakes to keep us going for the moment. That is delightful. I love watching these get tossed around. Genuinely, genuinely so adorable. Now, as you can see, I only have 2 shafts coming off this boiler right now. Oh, I can switch that direction. Didn't even know that. And I encase this area. Now, I intend on having a lot of these things just going into the... like popping off and going into the ground, because this area, this little island here, you can see we took like maybe 1/8 of it just for the steam engine itself. That's wonderful. We'll be using that steam engine very, very, very heavily, but we've got quite a few chunks left, and I'm thinking I'm gonna need the chunks. Yes, yes, I am too excited about this. So, what are we going to use those chunks for? I was thinking basic create machinery, perhaps? Or, as in, like, having an actual tree farm. That would be nice. And the like. For instance, in Yernshire, I am... for sure making iron, but it is a very, very, very slow process, and that was intentional. I don't want anything to be moving incredibly fast, because I don't like the stress that it takes off of this machine. So, as you can see, this one is moving extremely slowly, and this farm over here is moving a little bit faster. Oh, I better check our lava stores up here. Looks like we're almost to the tippy top. That should be fine. So we need basic resource production, and I think I'm gonna crowd this area, this island, with 1 chunk builds, with roads and all, of basic resource production. Cobblestone, iron, andesite alloy, the such. So, yes, this will be starter island. A starter island of Port Industria, and then we'll be shipping out from here all over this area. First things first, though, I'm constantly needing wood. I am genuinely constantly needing wood, so I'm thinking we also need a road system. We need a road system that works with it. but that's something we can work out in a minute. For now, Blaze Cake Factory. What should we name it? I can figure that out in a minute. I kind of want to call it What in the Blazes. So for now, I think off to this side, in this chunk right here, is where we're going to have our tree farm. And we're going to start with the basics of like oak, spruce, birch, jungle acacia. Dark oak's a problem. Cherry, we've got a lot of different types. Just letting you guys know, we have a lot of different types of fruiting trees as well. Oh, pine nuts? Nice. Alright, so we are going to start off with the basics. Oak, spruce, birch, and dark oak, I'm thinking. So let's mark out this chunk and talk about it. In fact, we may use a few different chunks along this side. Over here, put oak. Over here, put spruce. Over there, put birch. And over there, in that podzol area, put dark oak. So let's mark it out. And do we want to do... I'm thinking we do a big gantry that goes all the way across and then moves into a building over on this side, which will ship out here. Or I could make this bay a little bit bigger and have it ship out here. I think I might do that instead. And I've got to lay stuff under those tracks. I may stop that train and fix it again, even though I don't want to. But I should, because I want to give this a road liner. We're going to do straight stone slabs instead of the bricks. This time around. Shouldn't need that many, but that's fine. Wait, is it throwing? It's throwing dirt. There we go. There we go. That gives me some indication of how things are going to connect up. I do want to make that nicer, but for now. Did the grass just change color? I think we hit my favorite season of all, which is fall! I'm so excited! I love fall. I cannot wait to see what colors we see. And as you can tell, we cleared out some area for these tree farms, and now I'm going to clear that area back there and widen the bay. Kinda tempted to use TNT. We have not blown anything up. You know what? Let's give it a shot. I only have 10, but that's all we'll really need. Time to run! Oh, I just laid it outside of where I wanted to. Okay. Oh! Well, we blew it up. We'll have to fix that messy water. It's flowing into a shaft currently. Oh no. Listen, I just blew up 10 bits of TNT. You're being foolish. But I did widen out this area. Now we've got to get some buckets and fix it up. And I got myself a lot of calcite out of that. That's nice. Let's go take this egg over to where it needs to go. Oh my, these belts and such are running so fast. I may need to turn it down. Ooh, I also missed a casing. Where are we having problems here? Got enough lava. Got enough sugar. Ah. Need more cinder flour. I've been working on this, so I ended up destroying a bunch of farmland and such, so... yeah. Yeah, this definitely needs more. Ooh, I've got some to get it started. There we go. Now we have plenty of cinder flour. Now we just gotta wait for our eggs. And we're just gonna go any. Love it. Now let's make these farms. Maybe I should have moved this back one. As in over to, instead of this set of chunks, this set of chunks. Over here. And then load it up off of this area. Right, so now we have our tree farm area laid out. I put small slabs underneath, but I wanted the trees to have a space to grow. You know, just thought about it. I was going to have a really funny way of doing this and have the whole a whole hatch lift up over on this side and then plant a whole bunch all the way down the row. But because I want to have a different tree in each plot, I'm actually probably going to have it come from this side. Now, the usefulness of the spinny farms are the fact that if they go around with the deployers and such as well. You can easily figure out how you want to do those. With these ones, it's a little bit more of a challenge. Now, I like the gantry shafts, and we've got a 3-center, I believe, in between all of these. So I could do 2 here and 2 here, and then we'll have to figure out how to transfer out of the gantry after we kind of get this worked out. I'm thinking I'm just going to lay down a gantry shaft and just get started and see where we take it. Let's grab these gantry shafts and carriages. I'm going to need more. I'm going to need a lot more. Do about 34 of them and see if that works out. That did work out. There's a gantry carriage. I'll need another one. Here we are. So I know I'm going to need a lot more deployers. Wait, yeah, for sure going to need a lot more deployers, but we will look at that in a second. We're going to need some saws. We're going to need a lot of saws. And we're going to mirror this because these are about the same width and they're the exact same thing. Okay, so we're going to put our saws there and our deployers there. I don't really like how that looks. Deployers there. We're going to go with oak and spruce as our first 2, seeing as I use those the most. You know, I forgot one thing about the gantries. How hard they are to get them to come back. I'll work on that in a second. For now, I'm going to add a steam engine to this. Or I might not. I may steal power from this one. Nah, I want more pieces coming off of this. So we're just going to spaghetti it underground. Right, so now that is pulling back on it. So we'll need a gear shift here. Now I know I don't have enough saws, but we're just gonna try this out for now. I left behind the saws. How's this? Let's try it again. Oh, wrong area. Wrong area again. Where did I put that? It's over here. Now we're having a touch of an issue, and that's that it's not planting. But that is very simple to solve because I don't have a chest or anything on there that contains saplings. So we need to get those. We're going to do a singular chest because I think it's cuter. And let's pull the lever. Still nothing. Well, why not? This is glued to it. And I did put 64 of each in there, and now there's only 51. Let's take off the saws and do some testing because I might not be very smart here. Okay, they still are not laying those down. Oh, and it only has 51 because there's like 10 or 13 of those deployers. They have them all in there. Makes sense. The question remains, why is the gantry working and yet they are not laying stuff down on either side? What are we doing, guys? Oh, now we're not moving at all. Is it because the saws aren't glued on? Yes, the gantry will not move if it has a block in front of it, and these saws count as a block. We'll get there. That's not the thing I wanted to do. To over here. Okay, there we go. And we're still not having saplings deposited, even though we should be. Why? We're gonna try it with all of this stuff, though, and see if they place. It would make plenty of sense if they were just a little too low. Correct? We're taking everything off, guys. We're starting again with these gantries. I should have remembered that the deployers need a little bit more room. Right, now let's try it with those located there. There we go. It's like when you're coding and you miss a tilde or you capitalize the wrong letter and you're looking through 200 lines of code and you're so confused as to where the problem is. We already grew a sapling. And it's a big one. It took seconds. You gonna go through that one or what? Even more funny is that I need to put saws on both sides. Before the saws reach the deployers, I believe, have things getting in the way. Yes, the leaves of these trees are actually getting in the way, so we're going to have to change up the build just a touch. I don't know if the deployers are having a problem, or if it's the slabs. So we'll test that. Troubleshooting on my redstone. Looks like it was in fact the slabs. Well, we'll work with that in a second. For now, we're gonna need more iron because we need more saws. Like a lot more saws. Ah, I love fall. I don't have much here. So we started the tree farm and then I got carried away. Yep. Don't worry, I'll explain everything. I'm very excited to, in fact. So yeah, let's get started with that. As you can see, we did our gantry system again, except we made it sleeker and smoother. I have a ton of different saplings in here, and this will cut through them all. I am going to need some more dead saplings. They don't like to have a lot of leaves, which means they don't have a whole lot of saplings themselves. Oh, and here we go, moving across via this gantry, not this gantry. This redstone contact will tell us go back for a few minutes. This gantry over here. I'm not sure why I didn't put it central. I didn't end up doing that. So, this plays into this system over here. This is a rope pulley, and whenever this barrel fills up, it will go on up like an elevator, turn back into blocks, and deliver all of that wood into this system. We have clutches. No, we don't actually have a clutch. We have all sorts of things going on. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We have some of these being transferred into this vault because I have a feeling I'm going to be moving it over here so that it gets onto a ship that'll be down here, well, actually in that water over there, and it will make its way up and around this river to deliver the wood elsewhere. All of the logs and sticks will be going to a completely different place. Meanwhile, we have the saplings and other stuff, a good portion of other stuff, making bone meal. And what I'm really excited about today is that we also have a lot of apples. Our oak trees give us those, and we'll be using them. As you can see also, I did manage, for the moment, that doesn't look very nice, and this is a large empty space. I'm not doing the empty facade feel. I promise you we're gonna fill this space. But we got our create optical mod going here, so that I didn't have to put a whole bunch of shafts and random stuff from our steam engine that's help running this. Look at that arm. It's so long. But I like it, and I have an idea on how to make it look good. What's running our gantry is running underground. You can see our gear shift here. It's being activated by a wireless redstone signal that we get whenever it hits the end, whenever the contact is activated over there. It gives about 30 seconds down here, and then it moves right along. Then with this portable storage interface, we get it onto this elevator, like I mentioned. And this belt goes back and forth at times. It's okay. So far that I've never seen, it's never fed anything back into this machine. We've got a weird redundancy thing happening, and I'm pretty happy with it. Look at all the different colors of wood I have available to me now, just automatically being produced. So, I was just excited, and I wanted to get the system that we've seen done before. Yes, this building will be decorated much nicer. I regret making it an even number as I worked with chunks instead. Honestly, because it makes it extremely hard or impossible to use the Wand of Symmetry with that. And that means all of this was laid one by one. When you have tools, don't be afraid to use them, is how I think. I actually really love the way this is detailed and looks very nice, and I want the same thing for this. And we're going to have an apple market sort of feel up here. I'm so excited. I think we're gonna have a switchback staircase heading up and down. But that's besides the point. What we're gonna talk about today is processing and making new things. I have some food mods and cafe mods and things like that that I'm just excited to use and test and play with. So I hope you're excited too. Sorry for just moving us through on the tree farm, but I have shown you most of the stuff with the carrot kiosk. And I've been promising this tree farm since episode 5 or 6, probably later. Probably earlier. But yes, the one great thing about vaults is that you can do this multi-block system. In other words, all of this is one inventory. And so I can pull out using filters, I just want the wood and sticks in this one, and I just want all of the saplings to get put into this chest and then composted down. And I want all the apples over here because I'm going to process them into a few different recipes. We gotta make sure not to block that off. And in fact, I might block it off so that we don't run into it. But that might be later. Let's talk about our apple recipes. So of course we're going to have just some crates of apples, why not? But we can also make flour with it using Pam's Harvest Craft and a grinder. What I'm going to do is take a few different mixers and basins, mechanical mixers and basins, and I'm probably going to be doing some shapeless crafting through each of them, which will then pipe into a little grocery store / maybe restaurant down on that end. I need to clean up that roof portion, but we will talk about that shortly. We've also got a fruit salad. We do the same thing with a cutting board. It can be used in a multi-block kitchen. This is Pam's Harvest Craft. I'm interested in that. We might see if we don't have to go only the create way and we can combine certain things. So I'm so excited to make a little shop with you guys. This is major preparation for kind of what we're going to be doing throughout the city. So this space over here might be an office area because we still have plenty of space on this side, but I want to pull these apples out and over here to start making our stuff. So let's talk about grabbing our things. We're going to grab a grinder, which it says we already have. There we are. I think I just made one to experiment with some stuff. We're going to grab, and is the grinder something that you can also place in a multi-block kitchen? No, it's not. Interesting. But the cutting board is. So we'll grab that. We've got some interesting things from... This can turn bread into toast. This provides milk. Well, we need a cow. We need a cow in a jar, which I like. Spices and ingredients. This stores fruit. So we could make a kitchen in here, like an actual kitchen, and maybe make up a good portion of these recipes that way. Oh, I'm so excited. We're gonna make a kitchen together, guys. It wasn't exactly what I was planning, but I am okay with this. What I'm wondering is how I activate everything to make it make the things I want, but we will talk it out. Not gonna lie, guys, I thought I was gonna be doing like a lot more create machines, but this took me by storm. I am so curious. I am so curious on if these can be automatically made together and work together. And if they can, it might end up being smaller, but that means I can decorate more. And we can do all sorts. We can put a little bit more of a factory in there that depends on wood or things like that. So, next up, cow. Well, you guys, the dearest subscribers, my lovely, beautiful, wonderful subscribers, you guys tracked animals to your names. Amazing. I love it. So I'm going to leave these fans somewhere else. I'm not going to take them and stick them in a jar and then in a kitchen. Instead, we're going to go find another cow. You're going to go on top of this milk jar. I promise everything will be fine. We're going to name you. I don't know what. Hope that my viewers are merciful, because I shall not be. He's got the milk. Guys, there's a cow in a jar. This is the best day ever. This is the best day ever. Look, by the way, I switched out sugarcane for agave because you can bone meal those, and occasionally I'll take the bone meal that I get from the saplings over there, bring it over here, and deposit it into this chest. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of agave. That's good news, because for real, the sugarcane was not wanting to grow. It was just, there was too much going on. There was too much going on. And I couldn't have it as dense as what I want. Right now, in all likelihood, we're waiting on eggs. That's correct. We're waiting on eggs. That's all right, though. We have, if I remember right, plenty of blaze cakes over here. This sleek design was necessary, by the way. Anytime trees grow over a gantry and make everything stop because you have deployers blocking the way to your saws, it's just easier to do a side-by-side. Well, this was a fun little system to learn and look at, but I'm afraid it's not going to work for our purposes. So, back to create, and maybe we'll funnel in all of the random stuff that we're going to make into a kitchen and display it and such, but it will be made over there. And this kitchen will probably be replicated. This is what we're looking for. I'd love to be able to pause it. So we'll be able to take all of these things and split them up, and that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to distribute them and change what comes out. Yes, yes. Oh, I also wanted to show you a little bit of a thing that I found with the vaults. Pretty much anytime you want to get into a vault, you have to pull things out of it directly. However, if you have a storage terminal, that is not the case. I can pull directly from here now. I keep seeing the top of that tree, and I swear it's a creeper every single time. When I made these tree farms, I didn't expect it to be so efficient, but as the wheat grew on, and I've been filming and watching and filming and watching, these trees come up and come down again. I regret not making this a singular chunk. I regret having 4 chunks. Maybe 2 chunks, 1 for dark oak and other things that have to grow in a 4x4 pattern, which I don't grow right now. I like dark oak too much. But yeah, also, just the insane amount of space. It's very hard for me not to go back and change it, and I still might later, considering it's so big. It's a large, large piece. I don't hate it, but I'm also not an incredible fan of having so much in one area going on. Or not really the fact that there's so much movement, it's just that... Buddy, what are you doing? Anyway, there's many a thing. And there's a lot of different machines happening. And I kind of would rather have it be a little more simple myself. But sometimes by the time you get done making something, you realize, oh, this is much bigger, bulkier, and complicated than I ever meant to do. And that's exactly what happened. I went a little overboard, and I have been wanting to expand spaces. You've seen me build smaller areas and whatnot. I wanted to give you a little bit more majesty and a little bit more intensity. Unfortunately, that is all we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next episode where we fix up this tree farm and move right along. I want to get stuff shipped downriver and actually start processing this wood and other things. We gotta make a lot. We've gotta make so much. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.